what really comes first is life. I'm a person that, like, I want my music to be as much of me as possible. And so because of that, I think that it's important for me to sort of live life and have experiences before, you know, jumping into sort of like trying to write a song and a narrative or a hook or anything like that. And then I'll, you know, it'll all be, you know, what comes from the inspiration. How you doing? How you doing? Good. Can you still hear me good? Yeah. I just want to make sure. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. This is great. So, like, it's funny because it's like this is kind of like growing up for me. This is like the most amount of privacy that like I got.
Really?
Yeah. Like, so I shared a room with my younger brother for like, you know, for like most of my life. So it, you know, sort of, you know, when you share a room with somebody, you really know how to really sort of like, you know, keep yourself, you really know how to sort of like keep, like, sort of like when it's time for you to sort of walk out of a room or walk out of a situation so that you can kind of do what you want to do. And as soon as I got my driver's license, like, I was like, oh, look, they're like, as soon as I got my driver's license, you know, I know, right? It's crazy. As soon as I got my driver's license, like, everybody wanted to, like, I just sort of, like, would take my car around and I would start, like, listening to beats and, you know, listening to sort of, like, music and, you know, playing it as loud as I wanted to so that I could kind of get, like, an ear for, you know, what I was doing. So, this is, you know, this was really it.
So you write your own music?
Yes. So I mean, right now, like, yeah, I really, before, like, when you kind of start off, I think you're so, I mean, now especially, like, I sort of did the inverse, I feel like, of what's kind of happened with, like, making music. First, it was, like, very easy to just kind of go on the internet and, like, find beats and, you know what I mean, like, all that kind of stuff, because people are always doing it. But as time went on, I sort of realized to sort of, like, keep those relationships with people as well as to make my own with people that do production. And I love to be a part of all the production that I do because I think that it's more expressive and it shows a part of me, you know, as opposed to it just kind of being something that anybody can sort of like grab at any moment and just kind of, you know, just rap over or sing over or whatever it is, and then you put a song out and then the beat that you have is the same beat that this guy has, and you're just like, oh, well, that's great. I mean, my new single that's out right now, Sometimes, like, it really was, you know, living life, you know, being in a relationship, a long-term relationship, or experiencing long-term relationships, and, you know, looking at even my parents' relationship, who are high school sweethearts, and, you know, looking at my, you know, the relationships of my grandparents, and really sort of seeing the ups and downs that brings, and I really wanted to make a song that really sort of focused on that. It wasn't until I hooked up with Matt Stevens, who goes by Male Yayo, who, you know, he sort of showed me a couple of sounds that he had been working on as far as production. And, you know, he had sort of like basically the core of the beat, but the arrangement, I wanted it to be something that was a little bit more unique, and I wanted it to have a bridge, which I feel like is like cut out of modern music right now. Like, usually there is no bridge into the hook coming in at the end as much anymore. So I really wanted it to really have, you know, sort of like that element of timelessness in terms of like the structure of music that I used to listen to, but the themes and sort of the production things that the production elements that people are used to now. Nice.
Yeah. We got a lot to learn, that's a fact. If this is the only way that the both of us can react, I know you've been in your feelings, but everyone has your back. Especially me, your one and only nigga, the one you attract. If you need someone to talk to, I'll be there for the walkthrough. Side by side through the good shit and the bad. When you feel like life is over, I'll be there just to hold ya, reminding you that you'll put this in the past. Just forgive me now if sometimes I know I can get a little bit hasty.
Hey Drew, if you had one verse that portrays you in a song that you recorded, what would that be?
Like of a song that's probably out right now, I'd probably say definitely, I'd probably have to go with like my like first verse in Survive. You know, I grew up in Jackson. It's not necessarily like the hood, but you know, I go, hallelujah, I survived every petty thief and shooter. I had a vision since a little kid. Travel the world and love what helps me live. Lord, forgive me. I've made mistakes among the way I know it. But just don't shit again. My promise to you isn't empty. And I really wanted to, in terms of like talking about that, is talking not just what it means to be just like a middle class kid, but also a black middle class kid in suburbia, in terms of talking about the fact that when you know, grow up in predominantly, you know, white or, you know, a different, you know, a world that's predominantly another ethnic group, you still can sort of have your own black experience. And I think for a long time, I really struggled with that. And I think that I, you know, just recently have sort of come to terms with the fact that I had my own black experience. And I think that's what makes the music better. And I think that song stand out like way more to me than anything else. When you hear that song is just all me. And it's just all from the heart, and it's all experience, and it's everything that I'm about. You know what I mean? It's everything that is happening to me currently, and everything that happens to kids that are like me every day, and you know, people that are like me every single day. That's, you know, that's what it's about.